Folks, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are facing a considerable fall from grace. Once celebrated as royal revolutionaries who would modernize the monarchy, they are now criticized, mocked, and even pitied by the very public that once adored them. Today we go deeply into Harry and Meghan's humiliating demise, and the warning signs were there all along. What happened to the golden couple? How did two individuals equipped with international recognition and goodwill manage to fumble it all away? So, Harry and Meghan's tale started as a contemporary royal fantasy. Harry, the adored prince, and Meghan, the American actress, seemed to represent a fresh, optimistic chapter in the history of the British monarchy. Millions watched their 2018 wedding with fascination. But it didn't take long for the meticulously constructed story to start to show cracks. The couple stressed their wish for a private life after leaving royal duties in 2020, claiming that the oppressive media attention had made their lives intolerable. But rather than fading into quiet oblivion, they began a full-scale media offensive. The public found it increasingly difficult to overlook the stark contrast between their demands for privacy and their unrelenting pursuit of international attention, as evidenced by the explosive Oprah Winfrey interview, their heavily publicized Netflix docuseries, the Spotify podcasts, and Harry's revealing memoir Spare. What began as a story about two harmed people opposing an antiquated system gradually came apart. Many people started to regard Harry and Meghan as astute opportunists, ready to profit from the very royal privileges they had so openly denied, rather than as victims yearning for freedom and peace. Meghan's most recent business decision has only fueled the flames. American Riviera Orchard, her new lifestyle brand, has drawn further criticism. Many see it as just another thinly veiled attempt to monetize on the Duchess title she claims to have left behind, with a logo that uncannily resembles a royal crest. The endeavor has been criticized as blatant hustlerism by critics, who claim Meghan is peddling an elite dream that mainly relies on her royal ties while feigning otherwise. This most recent launch strikes many as tone-deaf, particularly at a time when the public's tolerance for the pair is eroding dangerously. In the brutally honest words of one irate Montecito resident, they keep insisting they want to be left alone. Yet they are the ones constantly chasing the spotlight. That specific critique is nothing new. In fact, it has been getting louder every year. When cultural analyst Louis Peitzman noted that Meghan Markle has continuously attempted to regulate her relationship with celebrity, ignoring the unavoidable negative aspects and focusing only on the aspects she enjoys, he perfectly encapsulated the idea. Peitzman claims that Meghan enthusiastically welcomes the attention, the power, and the glitzy opportunities that come with being famous. She demands exemption from the very cost of public life, however, and recoils when confronted with the scrutiny, criticism, and loss of privacy that inevitably follow. Peitzman stressed that Meghan's strategy feels particularly inconsistent, even while it is true that most celebrities try to manage their public image to some extent. The public is now more than ever aware of this. What was formerly dismissed as growing pains is now viewed as a concerning trend, and those speaking up are not limited to cultural pundits. Even old co-workers from Meghan's past projects are contributing insightful commentary. They want to be recognized as world changers, but they don't appear to know what that means, according to one person who worked with her in the media. Meghan hardly knew how to pronounce the phrase "Diana walked through live minefields." It's a harsh but powerful analogy. Princess Diana's humanitarian efforts were motivated by her extreme bravery and selflessness. She put her life in danger to bring attention to underappreciated causes, use her notoriety to help those in need rather than to further her own career. Action, compassion, and genuine sacrifice are the hallmarks of her legacy. On the other hand, Meghan's detractors contend that her public initiatives frequently resemble well-planned performances, more concerned with building her brand and elevating her celebrity status than making a significant, long-lasting impression. The distinction is obvious to them. Diana was walking in the middle of landmines, among brand deals, Meghan strolls. Additionally, the public's cynicism increases in tandem with the widening gap between image and reality. There is no greater obvious irony. In a glitzy Vanity Fair cover story from 2017, Meghan Markle made her dramatic debut on the global scene and captivated readers with her candid discussion of her relationship with Prince Harry. "We are in love," she said with a brilliant smile. presenting their relationship as something precious and nearly untouchable, a lovely, private link that they hoped to shield from the severity of public criticism. Vanity Fair was more than willing to assist in writing Meghan's story, which at the time seemed to be a contemporary fairy tale. However, in a matter of years, the same publication that praised her with dazzling headlines has now provided one of the most ruthless critiques of her meticulously manicured persona. Not in the way Meghan would have hoped, it is almost poetic. Ironically, Meghan was allegedly dissatisfied with the way Vanity Fair depicted her. Even during the height of her early press popularity behind the scenes, she lamented that the coverage did not exactly match her self-perception, even though she was portrayed as a new and inspirational person. It didn't end there, either. With The Cut, Variety, and a few more well-known publications, this trend kept happening. She was quick to blame the media, blaming the reporters, the headlines, and the story itself whenever an article or interview attempted to show Meghan with even a hint of depth instead of as the ideal heroine she favored. There was very little, if any, introspection. In Meghan's view, if the story does not fit her preferred version of events, it must be someone else's fault. This became evident over time. The bad guy is the media, the antagonist is the royal family. The general population just doesn't understand. Meghan wasn't the only one who did this. Once adored for his cheeky smile and approachable, grounded demeanor, Prince Harry has experienced an equally drastic change, and not in a positive way. The carefree prince of the past now appears to be a thing of the past, a guy burdened by innumerable complaints. His public persona has changed to one of a wounded soul caught in a never-ending loop of reliving past traumas, betrayals from family, and painful childhood memories. Not even his recent legal triumph, winning a case against a major British tabloid for phone hacking, has undone the harm. On paper, yes, it was a victory. However, a lot of critics contend that it felt more like a last-ditch effort to make amends than a victory. It was an acknowledgement that he was still engaged in battles that most people believed he had long since abandoned, and it smelled more of resentment than justice. Harry's wounded pride might be soothed by winning cases. However, they don't bring back the public's goodwill that he has gradually lost. It was previously very strong. Harry and Meghan initially made a different vow. They pledged to support humanitarian, compassionate, and mental health causes. They discussed vulnerability, authenticity, and the impact of sharing one's story. People believed in them for a while. However, at some point, things changed. The couple developed an obsession with controlling every narrative about them, including every interview, article, and photo, rather than allowing their words to be overshadowed by their deeds. They desired the fame without the attention, a round of applause without criticism, the pressure-free platform, and that fixation proved to be their downfall. They now appear to be petty, self-centered, and woefully disconnected from the same audience they are trying to affect. Rather than fearless change agents or brave truth-tellers, they appear more performative and hollow the more they strive to create the ideal image. Ultimately, tabloids, palace courtiers, or envious outsiders did not plan Harry and Meghan's demise. It was a gradual, self-inflicted disintegration, driven by an unwillingness to confront reality, the one thing they cannot control. Furthermore, the British press is not the only outlet that is working against them. Additionally, American media and pundits are growing more doubtful. The public's empathy has turned into eye-rolling fatigue. Harry and Meghan's constant gripes about their opulent lifestyles seem horribly out of step at a time when people are dealing with pressing problems like inflation, wars, and global disasters. Everything that is wrong with American Riviera Orchard's public strategy is summed up in this situation. The debut has been tainted by claims of duplicity, conflicting branding, and desperate attention-seeking, rather than a victorious return to public favor. What should have been a smooth transition into lifestyle tycoons has instead brought attention to their detachment from reality. Harry and Meghan could have had it all, which is the tragedy here. They could create something genuinely significant outside of the royal institution, a compelling story, and the sympathies of the entire world. However, they wasted it due to a mix of bad choices, constant overexposure to the media, and a failure to examine themselves. They now run the risk of being remembered as cautionary tales rather than heroic reformers, serving as a prime example of how ego, entitlement, and a lack of plan can transform widespread awe into widespread shame. From the staggering heights of royal love to the current low of being derided by the very media they once courted, It's been a long fall. They can yet change their direction by concentrating on real work, avoiding media games and exhibiting true leadership, but time is running out. The patience of the public is limited. Furthermore, it is quite difficult to regain the benefit of the doubt after you have lost it. So, what do you think? Are you of the opinion that Harry and Meghan can make things better? Or do you believe that the damage is irreparable? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We have a lot more juicy celebrity content coming your way, and you will not want to miss it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.